and welcome back to the channel. Today is a special episode because this is the 100th video that I have filmed for the channel, so that's quite special to me. Yeah, we'll be doing Rigo Streetwise Mentor, which is green, white, blue general from Streets of New Capenna. So this is a very strange general because he wants you to have lots of creatures with power 1 or less in the deck to be able to use a second trigger, which is whenever you attack a player or planeswalker with 1 or more creatures, power 1 less, draw a card. So you want to go for a very low power tribal. The only thing about that is it makes the deck inherently quite a bit weaker than other decks because you're trying to take out 25 lives. So that's going to be 25 hits from 1 power creatures. So you're going to have to be clever and inventive with the way you go. Don't forget that when he comes in, he has a shield counter on him as well, so that protects him from 1 bout of death. So in this deck, you want to go very technical cards. So you're going to have stuff like Jacob Hawken, which is a 0/2, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand. Then you may look at that card for as long as it remains exiled. You will pay 6, and if you do, transform him. And when you do, you can cast 1 free spell a turn with each card exiled with him. So stuff like this. Tetsuko Umezawa means your creatures can't be blocked with power 1 or less. The reality chip is basically Bolus's Citadel once this is reconfigured onto another creature, so that's mega powerful. And there's some other nice pieces of synergy I found. Was Toski, which draws you more cards, and Guardian Project, which are obviously they're kind of just auto add-ins at this point. But I found Teo Aegis Adept, which is really cool because he can make a 1/4, which is good for attacking and blocking, and you can eventually start killing people with these because his +1 says up to 1 target creature's power perpetually becomes equal to its toughness, and it perpetually gains this creature can attack a certain have defender. So this not only works in the defender deck, but this kind of deck to strengthen any defenders you may choose to put in. So it can really turn the tables. This guy, it's a +1 as well, so that can really build up. Making these guys, making them 4/4s, and then you get into lethal territory with just a few of these hits. So yeah. It's got a fair amount of control elements as well. You've got, negates and Day of Judgment to just control the field if the opponent's field gets out of hand. But I have to say, this is probably one of the most complex decks I've had to kind of think about, just because you want to have a fairly aggressive curve, but also fairly controlling nature to it as well, just in order to survive, because your small creatures they're just not going to make it that long. But yeah, don't forget to leave me a like, and don't forget the importance of subscribing to my channel. It's free and it really helps boost the channel and pushes it into the stratosphere. The more you like, sub and share, the more exposure the channel gets. So thank you so much to everyone so far that's got me here. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 subs. But yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, we see ourselves going against Falco Sparrow, the Pact Weaver. So they're the mafia boss leader of our guild, so hopefully we don't have to pay them too much respect, but they do have very powerful unique abilities to gain some card advantage. Our starting hand is not very good because we don't have the green for the Guild Goose, so I think we can mulligan this. This is quite a bit better actually. The Search for Scanter makes it a lot nicer. Can filter out some of our cards we don't need. And I think we'll go for a plains just because we've got 2 cards in our hand with white in their cost. And that's interesting to note. Although saying that, because of that, now we can't go for the Search for Scanter on turn 2, but oh well, might be okay still. So we'll try and go for that here. And land on top. Sure. So Kodama is annoying, but they don't have any modified creatures out just yet. So it could be a good time to go for the key here to go a bit more rampy. And Day of Judgment is an awesome pick. And because of the Day of Judgment, I think I'm going to get rid of the... I think I'll get rid of actually the Hero's Intervention. I think I value removal more than protection against this kind of deck. Once you see something like Kodama of the West Tree. Okay, so now they're going to start ramping because they have counters on him. But it does make me wonder if they do have a natural land drop or not. Doesn't seem like they do. Land on top would have been fine, but we do already have 6 mana here. Oh, and we can use Shigeki to get some non-legends back to hand. So for now, I think I'm happy to Swords the Kodama just to stop them having protection spells in their turn. And then we can go for the Guardian Project as well. And if things go awry, we can always use the March of Otherworldly Light to get rid of something. Ooh, Draven Barn. So we do not want this to ultimate. They're probably going to draw a card here. Okay, so they're going to go greedy and try and go for the ultimate. That's interesting. Cultivate would be nice, but we are now trying to fight a Dovin, so things have slightly changed. So I think now we can go for Rigo. We're going to draw a card from this. Ooh, and a Ginger Brute. Fantastic. Drawing so many cards here. And then now we can even swing in at the Dovin. So now they're going to have to think twice about which ability they really want to go for. I mean, we could even go for the Deputy here to get him off the field. Why not? We even draw a card from the Guardian Project, so opponent's going to find it very tricky to come back from this, even if they board wipe.
But I accept defeat.
Of course, if they go for a global wipe, which destroys all non-creatures, yeah, that was expected. Although, luckily, Rigo has the shield counter that protected it from demise there. And now we can even transform the Search, which is pretty good. So we could even use the Shigeki to return some non-legends to our hand, and then we can start dealing with their things. So how many things can we return? 4, 5, 6. So we can bring back the Deputy, and maybe just the Ginger Brew as well. So I think we'll just exile the Dovin Barn here. They seem very adamant at not ticking down. I think we're just really greedy, to be honest.
An anomaly, not to be repeated.
And here's the weird thing. We can still get a trigger with Rigo because Dovin Barn made it weaker, which is kind of interesting there. So,
I can read your
Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, and we have 2 Day of Judgments in our hand. Okay, that's kind of strange, but they are really into this Dovin Barn, aren't they? They don't really have any other kind of attack route here, apparently. So, yeah, I guess we'll exile it.
Incorrect. Go ahead and gloat.
And I suppose we can just play Rigo and draw another card. At no real hindrance. Yeah, the Guardian Project is keeping us in the game here, drawing us so many cards. And the Shigeki proving its utility value there. Another board wipe. So they've played 3 board wipes in a row there, which is kind of infuriating. I suppose we're just going to have to start drawing cards and attacking in other ways. What are the odds they're going to have another board wipe here? Maybe we should stop playing creatures here. It's kind of atrocious, the amount of wipes we're facing, especially when you consider this is a creature. I suppose it does have a shield counter by default. So shield counter will protect it from destruction and damage, but it will not protect it from the march. So mana value is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, actually, I think what I'd rather do is use the Search for a counter. Or now we can start getting Teo out. And then we're going to use the march here. And then we can pay 2, but also exile the Day of Judgment, because we don't need 2 of these. Oh no, hang on a sec. What's it got? So I can pay 2 plus 2, so I need to get 5, isn't it? So X equals 2. Exile 1. Not let me target. Okay, fine. You know what? Because it's kind of pissed me off, I'll exile 2, I guess. It's still not letting me target this. Okay, fine. We'll see why that's happening in our turn. Why is it not letting us target this? I'm obviously doing something wrong here. If it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter. But why can't I just target it? So confused. So 0. Okay, so now it's letting me target it. What was I doing wrong there? I was removing cards to make it cost 2 less, so I'm not really... I'm very confused. Someone in the comments will have to tell me what I was doing wrong there. It's kind of infuriating, to be honest. Right, let's make...
You worry about winning. I'll be your
let's make a lumbering light shield.
Here, stand behind this.
And then we make cards in their hand more expensive as well. So that's starting to bug me now. Shield counters don't prevent targeting. That's a strange thing. And a shall I. Okay, so Day of Judgment is going to prove to be pretty useful. Okay, so I think first thing we'll do is we'll attack with both of these. We'll make it unable to be blocked. Cool, and then we'll board wipe. So obviously our Rigo is protected from that. And let's go for the Knight as well. Take out the Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, this deck is so like mega complex. It's quite difficult to. And obviously the synergy there between Teo and your small creatures is that you can actually make your creatures small, which is good for Rigo, right? So it seems a bit weird why you'd want to unstrengthen, weaken your creatures, but it does work with Rigo. So again, we're going to have to find another removal spell for Falco. So let's go for the reality chip first, and then we can reconfigure this. And then start casting stuff off the top of the deck. And happy to leave the Cosmos Elixir there, because that eventually could be kind of useful, right? And we can even put the Fairy Seer on the floor as a blocker. Shaper's Sanctuary, kind of good, but it's kind of late in the game for that now. And yeah, let's get another Lumbering Light Shield. Why not reduce his loyalty a bit, just to give us a bit more value. Primal Command. Okay, so they're looking to yeah, let's not attack there. So the command can put a non-creature permanent on top of its library. Sure. Elspeth comes out to play.
I'm not looking for. Let's do this together.
So now this has Vigilance, Flying, Trample, so we can block here. And also, I mean, we do lose the Teo, but we do get rid of the counter from the Falco. So that's pretty important. But yes, we do eventually need to get rid of the Elspeth. And here comes an awesome board wipe. Just roll creatures to toughness 4 greater. That works out quite well. And having the negate on top means that we can protect our board. Oh, and a smothering tard on top as well.
You can't just push
Certainly
me
quite the
around
battle
like
here.
Others.
I would play the tome, but I'm happy to leave up the negate here. I'm not sure if our opponent can come back from this. What would they need? I guess several wipes. So they have their own Rigo.
I know there's a hero inside you.
They certainly have a lot of cards to fight back with. That's for sure. And this is where we're seeing the downside of 1-power creatures here. Oh, Search for Glory. This seems pretty good. Playing stuff off the top feels very unfair. Yeah, let's go for Vivian Reed, why not? She seems like a great choice. And we can even regrowth getting something back from the graveyard, so I think ECD is a good choice. And it's just too much value. Wow, the value there was incredible. Cool, so we're facing Nethroi Abzan Reanimator. Starting hand seems very removal heavy, let's say. They're all removal spells, but we do have the mana, so let's just not look a gift horse in the mouth. Although annoyingly, all of our threats from their side will be in the graveyard essentially. So we could... we could just turn their goose into a reprobated subject here, so they can't do anything now. It's just a 0-1. This is a very good removal spell, and I'm surprised I don't see it more often. Like, completely shutting down opponents' generals is, you know, something to behold, really. Let's see if they have an answer for our Ornithopter. Don't feel too confident about Abzan because they have just so many removal spells. They're going to mutate onto the goose. So what happens if it has no abilities then? I guess the abilities, he can choose where it goes, right? Okay. So they get... depending on where they put the card. So they so there's a lesson to be learned, guys. They put the Great Horn on top, which means... because... yeah, this is weird, right? Because it has no abilities, so therefore when you mutate, it has 0 abilities. It's kind of weird, right?
I'm here to protect you.
Interesting interaction. I've never actually seen that before. So if the creature that it mutates onto is enchanted with something that gives it no abilities, then it itself will then have no abilities once it mutates, apparently. Very interesting. I think it's time to draw some cards because we're missing land drops here. And it's time to beef up the lumbering thing. Or we could beef up the goose. 2/2 goose. Yeah, so now I've got 2 defenders. Oh my goodness, shielded in the bin. If they can reanimate that shielded, we might be in some trouble. And I mean, of course they could... ugh, so next turn they can get shielded back, which is definitely something I'm not happy about. Okay. Guess we'll go for the Scoot Swarm. Scoot Swarm will give us a few nice ways to, you know, interact with shielded. We can then sack them. I presume they're going to spend their entire turn doing that move. So we'll go for another Light Shield. Oh, they've got Putrefy. Okay. So I'm taking it the Putrefy is going for the Scoot Swarm here. So if that's the case, I'm going to leave up the Unbreakable Formation. Okay, so this is going to shape up to be quite a game. I mean, let's see what they do. Let's face it, they're probably going to go for the Shieldred, right? And then now we need some exile effects because they're just going to reanimate so many other things here over and over again. Okay, so we're going to start sacking stuff. I kind of want them to go for the Scoot Swarm. Yeah, so now I've got 3 mana, so I'm actually going to phase out 2 things. Oh no, actually, I've got 1, 2, 3 mana. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so then submit 0, sure. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, those March cards. I think I know what I did in the previous game now. I accidentally selected the wrong options on the second mode. Okay. Okay, so now this is where things get interesting. So, we'll play a land. We will make one of our light shields a massive.
Who needs a sword anyway?
We can So this is interesting. So I kind of want to use the formation as a like a pièce de résistance, some kind of finishing move. I think I definitely want to put witness protection on the old Rotsty. I don't want that to have any abilities. So if we go for the formation now, we kind of have an awesome army, don't we? So maybe we go for Rigo. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll go for the unbreakable formation. This is all like just +1/+1 and vigilance, and indestructible. So they're gonna, you know, they're gonna need to find some good answers here, because we're posing quite a big threat, to be honest. So obviously Shielder can return something. Let's see what they can do. Binding the old guards. Damn. Okay. So what are they going to go for? They could go for a Scoot Swarm. They're going to go for Teo.
It was an honor to fight.
I would never have guessed that, to be honest. So now we sack something. I guess we'll sack an insect, because I quite like having the mana from the Ornithopter here. Let's try the reality chip. And then attach it to, I guess, Rigo. So the farewell is going to prove to be pretty crucial. Not that we can actually play it yet, but I guess we can swing with the Ornithopter. This draws us a card. So essentially, we have a get out of jail free card with this farewell. If everything goes to hell, we can just, you know, reset the game. And I think that's going to be pretty important, but I don't really want to lose all of my stuff either. So it's definitely a toss-up of getting rid of the Shielded versus, you know, all of our Scoot Swarms here. But yeah, if we can find a removal spell for Shieldred, then we might be okay. Because she kind of nullifies everything we do, right? And we need a way to exile the graveyard as well if we can. So we might as well make a food token, because why not? And then we sack another thing, so go for an insect. Okay. So we might as well play a land because it gives us so many things. Ah, okay, so now we have an answer for Shieldred. Oh, Day of Judgment. I don't really want to go for that, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I could farewell just to get rid of the... No, that's not very good, is it? Can I draw a card? Let's go to attacks. I think swing with everything to scare the hell out of them. And leave back... These are all Scoot Swarms as well, aren't they? Yeah, you know what? Just going to swing with everything. They're going to have to block something. And if they happen to board wipe in their turn, then we have the retaliation board wipe. So it's like, you know, everyone's holding guns against each other's heads here. So now they run out of good blocks, you see. So it's good that we pressured them, to be honest. They are down to 8. And then we can go for the Smothering Tithe. So yeah, we're still okay. Six, 7, so they could easily reanimate quite a fair few of their guys, but, you know, old stick fingers, interesting. Does that change anything? Not really sure. Do we have lethal? So they've got 5 blockers. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 attackers. Well, this will be interesting to see, won't it? March of the Multitudes on top. This is awkward timing, isn't it, really? Maybe that's... Oh, were they looking for something like Crater Hoof on top? Does that mean they've got Crater Hoof? I don't even know what it means. They've got 3 big blockers. Okay, firstly Playland, just to get all these Scoot Swarms. And then we can attack with the ones that we have on board, so it doesn't matter too much. Keep Rigo back and the Deputy. I don't care about losing any of these other things. They're all expendable to me. They've got 2 or 3 good blocks here. Okay. So they're down to 5. And yeah, I'll pass the turn. I'm impressed that this Ornithopter keeps helping us draw cards as well. That's quite fun. So the worst case scenario is they go Crit with Behemoth, right? And that gives them +5 on everything. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20. Sure. So they can go for the life link on the flyer. That's kind of annoying, but again, we can just, you know, we can reset the field. So that's 11/11 lifelink as well. Yeah, it's not good. And they get all these things back. Damn, that's a lot of stuff. Protection from creatures. Yikes. Okay. Forceful Cultivator. Sure, so now they're attacking with everything. And, okay. So, you and creatures you control have protection from the chosen card type. That's pretty broken. Okay, it's fine. It's time to gain some life. So, let's see what we can do here. I'm not bothered about going for the march here, because if we're going to board wipe anyway, doesn't really matter too much, does it? So, how can we do this so Rigo doesn't... Maybe we just alpha first, right? Okay, let's just attack with everything. We should be okay. Because we're just going to exile their entire army, aren't we? So they've got protection from creatures. There's not much we can do about that, unfortunately. Normally this would be terrible. So they're going to get Shieldred back, which is good for us because we're going to exile her as well. I don't know why they're doing this so slow. They're just doing them one at a time, which I don't really get. It's kind of a troll, right? This is definitely a troll. Okay, so Shieldred comes back. That's fine. And I'm going to get rid of all the artifacts on the field as well, just to get rid of their stuff. There will be nothing left. Although we will lose the reality chip. So maybe that isn't a good idea. Yeah, let's not go for artifacts. But we will go for graveyards and creatures. I mean, that's pretty good, right? Kills their entire graveyard. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, exiling a Nethroi player's graveyard. Can't really complain, can we? And yeah, we'll scry something away. And then we might as well just go for the Sentinel as well. And if we attack, we can... Oh no, we've already attacked, haven't we? So I'm interested to see how they come back from this, because literally all of their key cards are in the graveyard. Vorinclex, of course. So this is problematic. Oh, that's not very nice, is it? So, okay, fine. In order to save the reality chip, I'm going to have to move this over. So yes, my lands went on tap. Yes, yes. And then destroy the field. Yes, okay. Calm down. We know you like mythics. So our guys survive. So what I'll do first is attack. So many lands on top. And then we can reconfigure this to Rigo. And play the land off the top. Oh, and we even have the march as well, so we could technically use this on a token or something. But as I said in the deck tech, it's a very weird deck. Oh, there's a Tulpa. So that's indestructible for now. But we should be able to deal with it. Shouldn't be too bad. How much mana is it? 8. So we're going to need to spend 9 mana on March to get rid of this. But it's going to be worth it because it's, you know, it's keyword central here. And a Feybarrow Elder. Okay, sure. They have to be running out of threats, surely. So how big is this? 6, 7, 8. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we play a shock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we should be able to just get rid of the Zatulpa, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we can't. Okay. So does that mean we just die? Why can't we do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. This should be enough, right? Yeah. So I was just calculating X as before the total cost. So if I attack, they're just going to block, and then they're going to kill it. So yeah, there's no point doing that. Now the annoying thing is they are probably just going to mutate to get the Vorinclex back. So maybe I should have attacked actually, but then I'd be dead either way, wouldn't I? Okay, they're going to go for the Auspicious Starret into a Mind Rack Harpy, and now this is an 8/8. Yep, so they're going to deal exactsies to us. Yeah, that was a shame. So the entire game, basically, we were just up against it, weren't we? I mean, we had all the removal spells, but... So, essentially forcing us to block. But, to be honest, there's not much else we can do. Unless we can top deck another... let's scry one first. That won't do it. So our only hope now is Tome of Legends and then top deck into a removal or something. Well, it'd have to be a board wipe, I guess, or kill spell of some kind. Search for Glory. Does that do it? Well, they can mutate, can't they? Remember, so all we can really do is get rid of their biggest guy, and then they'll be able to get back everything else. So that is a real shame, but there you go. We lost it pretty well. I mean, that was a pretty good top deck, not gonna lie. But yeah, so what can they do? They can just mutate for, you know, onto this guy, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. Did they just... So they destroy the ECD. They swing for 8. Yeah, getting the Voronclex back twice is kind of rough, isn't it? And the life gain they had as well. They gained so much life. So what can we do? So we can draw a card with the Rigo when he comes in. Triggers the Tome of Legends. Oh, it's such a trolly trigger that is, isn't it? So, draw a card. And yeah, these aren't going to cut it, so all I can do is really play another blocker. And they win the game. So we'll pass to them, give them the glory of victory. And yeah, so it doesn't matter how we block this, we've just lost. Yeah, good game, enjoyed that. Hope you did too. Ooh, we get to go first against Feather, so this could be actually very important, because if Feather gets going, then it's difficult to kind of do anything, because they can just continuously protect Feather with protection spells. But we'll see. Fervent Champion, well, that's aggressive, but I guess that's the deck, isn't it? Go for the Selfless Saviour. Toughness 4 greater. Well, Feather is toughness 4, so we can use citywide busts here. Well, next turn if they go for the Feather. It's pretty high toughness for a card like this cheap. So, lifelink, first strike, haste. Okay, so there's no point blocking that then. Sanctum. So this is all going to work out quite well, I hope. So we're going to swing in, and we can even protect Rigo twice, because we have the Saviour and the Shield Token on the Rigo. So let's see how this goes. If they go for Feather, I'm 100% slamming down the citywide bust. Interesting, so they're missing a land drop. Otherwise they would have gone for the Feather. Interesting that they put Revitalize in here when it doesn't target anything, so they won't get it back with the Feather trigger. And interestingly, Rigo's a good blocker, so what could we do here? We definitely want to leave the citywide bust. Well, we need the mana for this, so we need an extra white, but just depending how we want to play the white mana, to be honest. We could just Night of Autumn, destroy the lifelink here, but I'm not really that bothered. We could just Deputy of Detention on the Fervent Champion. That's a 2-for-1. Basically. Don't need more lands. And sure, why not attack now? It's going to give us a card as well, so... Yeah, very weird deck. This is probably one of the weirdest decks I've ever had to make. It doesn't have some, like, kind of resonance with me. Yeah, you have to be a very particular type of person to like this kind of deck. I don't know who that person really is. It's kind of like aggro control, not an archetype I've ever really seen before. Aggro control, yeah, it's weird. Gaining 2 life, wow, they really are desperate now, aren't they? They don't have the double white, you see, so they're doing other things. Swinging in, so I guess that means that they have a trick. I suppose let's get the trick out of the way. So all they need to deal is 1 extra damage here. Or give this first strike. That's fine. At least that's out of the way. They'll never get that back. I mean, we could even use the Selfless Saviour to protect the Deputy. And then that way... Yeah, why not? Actually... That's actually quite nice, because we also get to keep their Fervent Champion underneath the deputy. So let's swing in again. There's nothing they can do on the defence here. We just get to draw more cards. March is always good. And yeah, it's just too much pressure, and unfortunately didn't get the second plane. So yeah, there we go. If you enjoyed watching this video, why not try some of my other videos on my channel? And don't forget to support me by hitting the like and subscribe button for more content like this.